Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow over on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE. $10 bet turns into $200 in free bets. If either team scores a touchdown, good for college and pro. Restrictions apply. All right, let's squeeze the juice. Does that work? Squeeze the juice? We'll see. We'll get back to me. Feel free to hit me up at thebettingpros.com/chat, a.k.a. Discord. Man, if you guys aren't in the Discord, you're missing out because a lot of the games, primetime NFL games, I drop in my first touchdown bets. I usually give out like 3 or 4 guys, whatever you want to do with your units, split them up, sprinkle them, however, and hit DeAndre Carter first touchdown. That was like 19-1. That was pretty awesome. A little icing on the cake. As far as the Daily Juice picks itself from the podcast, 3-2, went 2-1 on the round robin money line parlay. So that was nice, and that carried us to a positive outcome on Sunday. And you're making money in the National Football League after the crazy stuff that happened. I can't complain. All right, we'll get to the recap. Here we go. And of course, Monday night picks and props. You'll have no idea. You will not be able to guess what side of the game I am on. Got some fun angles on the props, so stay tuned for that. As if you would tune out a 8-minute, 10-minute podcast. Like, all right, I heard the first 2 minutes. I'm done. No, you're going to stay until you hear the picks. All right, Seahawks. What a loss by the Seahawks. I'm not going to say, I mean, they just came out super slow. Maybe there was more to that time difference. Really, it just came to that Geno fumble. Like, the momentum, everything changed after that. So, RIP Geno. I still think the Seahawks are an interesting future play. And Tampa Bay Bucks, Brady 2-0 straight up in ATS post-divorce. So, keep an eye on that trend. Bears. Oh, my God. They were up 24-10. How are they gonna blow this? They get the touchdown. They miss the extra point. Oh. And it would have went to overtime. Maybe they can cover the 2.5, which is what I gave it out. That's why I'm always scared laying a team minus 2.5. And their defense just kind of stinks. And then obviously Geno. Looked like a Geno, old Geno. Justin Fields had a good game, but that pick six just tears you down. So Dolphins cruise blowout win minus 3.5, never in doubt. And the Steelers won. I think when I gave it out, they were dogs, and then they ended up closing small favorites. You can see the difference with and without TJ Watt, so just game changer for them. And situation spot, it was just horrible. I don't know why Steelers weren't favored. I mean, I get it. They're not great, but the rest disparity, the non-conference road favorite, it was just it seemed like a horrible spot for the Saints, and Saints are just kind of a bad team. I think they got to go back to Jameis to see what kind of spark they can get. Round robin moneyline parlay, of course, Seahawks didn't hit, but we did hit with the Green Bay Packers on the money line. That was a pretty sweet money line. Parlayed with the Steelers, so that leg hit. That carried us to a nice profit. I got it graded about 0.75 units up, so nice little icing on the cake there. Man, I know we didn't have a play on it, but that Bills game was just insane. And this is how funny. So I was on Bills 3.5 in the Circa Millions contest. I didn't end up giving it out. Usually I give out the same plays I play at the Circa Millions, but I didn't give it out because of the back and forth with the quarterback stuff, and it seemed like the line was going all over the place. Just didn't feel. I mean, at 3.5, I was like, oh, it's locked in, but I didn't know if people were going to get it. Yada yada. And then, when the Vikings missed that extra point, I'm like, oh, okay, I got screwed by the Bears missing an extra point. The gambling gods are giving me back this extra point. And then, oh, man, it just happened. Insane way for the Bills to lose that bad. I'm taking solace in the fact that it helps Jalen Hurts' MVP stock because Josh Allen and the turnovers. I mean, maybe blame the elbow, but he looked pretty healthy out there. So we'll see. And I still don't understand how the Vikings are 7-1 and keep winning these one-score games. But, hey, God bless them. I enjoy the Kirk Cousins videos. All right. Before we get to the Monday night picks, shout out, of course, to the Kenneth Walker jersey, a.k.a. Ken9. You guys know what you got to do. YouTube.com/bettingpros. Hit subscribe. Comment on the video. Automatically entered to win an autographed jersey from Pristine Auctions of K9, a.k.a. Kenneth Walker. All right, Commanders at Eagles. I'm going to Eagles, not surprisingly, but I'm going to go first half. You can get a -6.5 right now over on FanDuel, putting down 2 units on that. This Eagles team has really been a first half team. I mean, with the noted exception of that short week, non-conference game against the Texans, which is really a tough spot. They got extra rest against the Commanders. They destroyed the Commanders last time in the first half in Washington. The Eagles overall for the games are 4-0 against the spread. I mean, this was Hurts' stat line last time they played in the first half. 22 of 35 for 340 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Maybe they don't cover the 10.5 for the game, although I still like that as well. I still like it at 7 if you can, but I would try and find that 6.5 over on FanDuel. I think the D-line still has a huge advantage against the Commanders' offensive line. Heineke, it's going to come down to how often he turns the ball over. I think as an Eagles fan, I guess what I'm worried about is the running game. Can Antonio Gibson carry him? But they really seem to show up at home in prime time. I think the effort is going to be there. And that's really when they've struggled, is on the road against the run game. That seems to be the one chink in their armor. So Eagles, again, they lead the league in turnover differential, lead the league in point differential. So they should cruise here in the first half. Give me the Eagles, -6.5 for 2 units. Next up, we got Curtis Samuel, under 42.5 receiving yards. Get that over on BetMGM. For a unit here. I think this might actually go up a little bit because Avonte Maddox is out for the Eagles. Probably would be matching up against Curtis Samuel in the slot, but their backup cornerback rotation has been very strong. Even in games where Maddox is missed, they still seem to dominate. Again, I think the Eagles are going to get a good pass rush on the Commanders. And, they besides Avonte Maddox, they have CJ who leads the league in interceptions. I think they're going to be able to do all right with Maddox, and I just don't think Curtis Samuel can destroy them. Maybe Terry McLaurin has a game. He kind of had the game. It's tough to tell because obviously the trends changed a little bit with Heineke in there, but I'm still locked in on Curtis Samuel under 42.5 receiving yards. Hey, if you're looking to play these props I'm giving out, open up your mobile phone, go to sleeper.com/dailyjuice. You get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Not only the NFL, but also the NBA, NHL. They got a little bit of everything over there. You can win 2x all the way up to 20x the amount. So if you go 5-0 on your player props, you can win 20x. It's pretty awesome. And what's cool about it is it's just like a group chat, and you can just see someone's picks you like. You can just hit copy and paste them right into your own bet. Also, it's really fun if you play fantasy on Sleeper. It'll give you the over-unders for the matchups automatically built into the Sleeper app. So again, sleeper.com/dailyjuice on your phone. Get that 100% deposit bonus. This is great for playing player props if you're in a state that doesn't have legalized gambling yet. They're active in a bunch of states. So hopefully your state, 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Sleeper.com/dailyjuice. And the picks keep coming. Give me A.J. Brown over 70.5 receiving yards. 1 unit. Let's go. He had 85 receiving yards last time they played. Obviously, he has an amazing chemistry with Jalen Hurts. He looks like the second coming of Terrell Owens. I just can't remember a time where we saw an Eagles receiver this dominant and just as game one on. I mean, when Terrell Owens came to the Eagles, it was instantly. I mean, even in that preseason game, he took one to the house and go, holy crap, we have a receiver. Well, what is this? And that's the same feeling I have watching A.J. Brown. This guy is unguardable. Betting Pros, again, if you haven't gone to bettingpros.com/NFL props and taken a look at their projections, they are super helpful. They are also projecting him to go over. They have him, I think, at low 70s, but definitely on the over there. 70.5 receiving yards for A.J. Brown. I like the receiving yards more than the props because they do seem, more than the receptions, because they do seem to get him involved in the deep ball a little bit. So, A.J. Brown over 70.5 receiving yards. Last but not least, Jalen Hurts, my man. Now, in my mind, MVP frontrunner. Under a half interceptions, -140. Got to pay a little juice. This is right on the edge of juice I'm willing to play. 1 unit over on Bet Rivers. He's just super careful with the ball. He's only thrown 2 interceptions this season. One was Kenneth Gainwell's fault. It bounced right off his hands. he just doesn't turn the ball over. I mean, again, that's a huge reason why they are leading the league in turnover differentials. Hurts isn't throwing interceptions. He's not turning the ball over. He had a fluke fumble his first of the season last game against the Texans. They're at home, and I just don't think the Commanders are going to be able to cover a lot of their guys. He's not going to have to force the ball into tight windows. So give me Jalen Hurts under a half interceptions. And the Commanders, not only does Jalen Hurts not throw a ton of interceptions, the Commanders don't force a ton of interceptions. They only have 3 all season. So give me Jalen Hurts under a half interception. For a unit, give me A.J. Brown over 70.5 receiving yards. Give me Curtis Samuel under 42.5 receiving yards. And give me the Eagles minus 6.5 in the first half. Hey, BetMGM.com, promo code JUICE. Squeeze the juice over on BetMGM. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast. And you guys know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.